This week on Chris Sports TV, we spoke to coach of Highveld Lions, none other than Geoffrey Toyana, first black person to coach a cricket franchise in South Africa. We spoke to him about being brought up within the game, transformation, the match fixing scandal, and the Proteas job. Stay tuned for more. Geoffrey Toyana's cricketing roots can be traced back as far back as his father. We spoke to him about his roots within the game.
Okay, yes, my name is Geoffrey Toyana, born and bred in Orlando East, Soweto. Father played cricket, like in the 1960s. He was part of the Black African team, that played, and he played in the mines as well when he came from the Eastern Cape. It was easier for me to start the game because I used to go every Sunday and watch my dad play cricket. And I've always hated the fact that how can you play a game that takes from 9 o'clock, up until 6 o'clock. I mean, you sit there the whole day. Yes, my primary schooling started in Zakeni, grade 1 up until grade 3. Then I went to Elukolweni, in Orlando East as well, and then my high schooling was done in Orlando High School. They have a famous school that people like Jomo Sono, attended as well. When Butkaya Majola, came to play for Soweto Cricket Club at the time, and he was employed just across the road here at UCB South Africa at the time, which is now called Cricket South Africa. Yeah, he changed how we thought about the game and how the game was played.
Geoffrey Toyana's success during his first season at the Lions set him up for great things to come.
I think it was the right time for me to come in when you're coming in a side which is quite at the bottom, and coming in in my first year we won 2 trophies. Yeah. The T20 competition here at home, we beat Titans here. Because I had a quality side. I mean, Imran Tayers were playing there, guys like Chris Morris, Quinton de Cox, and all those young, good upcoming players were coming through. And we shared the 50 over competition with the Cobras. We played the final here as well again. Yeah, but it rained for 2 days, so we could not complete the game.
The coaching job comes with many challenges, none bigger than match fixing scandal, which has a potential of derailing the whole team and setting them back.
Those players that were implicated, all those guys were senior players. The bulk of where our young players learn from. So it was quite disappointing when it happened at the time. I still remember that we were still in the season, as that thing happened, and we basically had to sit down with the boys and tell them that yes, it's tough now, but our focus has to be about playing cricket, on all those younger players that we still had. And for those younger group of players to play so well and get into the final of the Momentum Cup, and win the trophy in Cape Town was really, really something that was a big positive for us as a franchise. I mean, our sponsors were not happy, our fans were quite not happy as well. So we had to do damage control, and big up to Cricket South Africa as well. I think they handled the whole period very, very well, even though it's something that's going to hurt us for years to come, because it's quite difficult to try and replace experience. I mean, 10, 15 years, experience, basically all lost. So it is quite tough to replace that. But I think with what's happening here now and all these younger players that are coming through and them getting opportunities, it is something that we're trying to move on from, quickly. So I think it's a great lesson as well for all our young players that are coming through.
Transformation is considered a hot topic in the general discourse of sports lovers within South Africa. We asked Mr. Toyana what his thoughts were on the subject.
Our young players that are coming through, I think the biggest thing for me is that quality of opportunity, because going back 4 or 5, 6 years ago, you still found coaches who played black African players as numbers, where a guy is a batsman, but he'll come in and bat 9, in a franchise game, or a guy is a bowler, like he'll bat number 11 and bowl 1 over. So I think the big ups to all the coaches in the franchise setup now, which have pushed the quality of opportunity. Hence, all these guys are coming through. I mean, if you look everywhere, guys like Petro Guayos are coming in, they're performing. And then you've got a guy like Zondo, who's the captain of the SAA side. A guy like Gompile Ramile, he was captain of the Cobras last year. And he's done well at SAA level as well. There's plenty guys that are coming through, and it's something good for the country as we move forward. And the guys do understand now that it's key for them to keep performing and keep those performances up. They're only negative for me, no, not just to Cricket South Africa, but to the country as a whole, is that we still don't have guys coming from townships and coming to play, at franchise level. Because all these guys that we've mentioned now are guys who come from private schools, your St. John's, your Kezes and all those type of schools. Biggest challenge for me, is to have cricketing schools, in the townships, and it's a problem all over. Like for example, at Elka Stadium, so where I come from, our facilities are still, in a similar way as they were 20 years ago.
Sure.
And we still don't have cricketing schools where kids are playing cricket on a daily basis. Because a kid in township plays about 6-7 games, in a year. And all those other kids in the private schools or better schools, they play about 40-50 games, which tells me that we still don't have that balance.
But, there's word going around, that the Proteas jog. The Proteas jog will be up for grabs, where everyone will basically be applying. CSA has already mentioned that they want everyone to apply, even the current coach has to apply like everyone else. And there's word just going around that you might be the next CSA coach. Would you be up for it if the opportunity came?
Yeah, I think obviously in every sport that you do play in or coach, you basically want to test yourself, against the best in the world. So I'm no different as well. I know that as a player, I was not good enough to play for the Proteas, but it is one of my dreams to coach my country one day, and hopefully bring back those ICC trophies that everyone keeps talking about them. Yeah. But yes, having said that, I think a guy like Russell Domingo, has done a great job with the side, over the last 5-6 years, So yes, I know that an advert is out already. I think I will put my CV as well, on the table.
As we reflect on the events of June 16 and the tragedy that took place on the day, Mr. Toyana had a message for the youth.
And I tried to go study further at university. In '94, I went to Rao to try to do a chartered accountant course, but unfortunately, cricket took over. Biggest mistake I made growing up was not coming back and trying to pursue an education, as something to fall back onto. That's the biggest thing I do now, with the kids I coach, that it is possible to do both, because at least if you've got something to fall back on, the things become, easier for you. There's nothing that basically beats hard work. There's too many times when us as a people, we tend to take, all the shortcuts. Key for me, to the kids, at home as well, keep working hard and keep believing in yourself. And don't let anyone tell you that you are like not gonna make it. Just believe in yourself and do the work. That's key for me.